What's going on, YouTube? I'm back and I'm doing a video. You know how I do. All Pro Football 2K8. Now these rosters are from, I don't know, like 2K17. It was probably the furthest I've ever gotten with a real roster. You know, trying to make it legit with everybody's bios and equipment and all the good stuff. So I wanted to do a video because Madden's been out and Madden gets crazy, man. This time of year gets nuts. And I hate it because all I see online is Madden. It's like Madden this, Madden that. Oh, Madden's great. You got to give Madden a chance. Oh, Madden is getting better. Madden's improving. Madden's doing all these great things, but you have to be patient. But you know, right now is also the honeymoon period, right? People have something new to play. There's going to be hopefully some slightly new things that come in the game that people will notice and they'll gravitate towards. So right now, you know, it's like it is every year, and the people that want their NFL fix, they go get it. They go get the game, and that's cool. You know, that's what they want to do. They go get it. But you know, I wanted to do a video just to kind of share my thoughts on things. I'm not going to be super negative, and I'm not going to be all about 2K because that's not what I'm about, to be honest. I mean, I just want to play a quality game like a lot of us do. And Madden, you know, Madden is I think it has so many things that are just stuck from the ground, that from the foundation, that it really doesn't really have a lot of flexibility, right? So when you make a game, I guess this is my theory, when you're making a game, and a game as large as this type of a game, you have to build, it takes years to build a quality game, right? It takes years to even build a game, let alone something that's going to have all of the full feature sets that people have in AAA games, like, you know, like the 2Ks of the world, you know, and like 2K basketball, they have so many great features, and they just released a blog about their My GM and My League, and it's amazing what they're putting into the game. But they did it right. They built the proper foundation, and when you have a proper foundation like that, you can start to stack on top of it, and you don't feel like you don't feel like you're adding, you know, garbage in, garbage out type of thing. You feel like you are good pass. You feel like you have the ability to stack on. I mean, just like with the All Pro Football editor that I'm making, the new version, I didn't have the foundation that I wanted for the old version. I made it. It was the first time I've really ever made an editor. Actually, it was the second time. Excuse me. The first one was the ESPN 2K4, NFL 2K4 editor. And All Pro, I think, was my second one, if not backbreaker, but I think it was All Pro. And, you know, at the time it was kind of new. The whole modding thing, working on the technology I was working on it's kind of older technology, or different technology, I would say, not older, but not the newest. And so I built what I built, and at the time it was good. But at some point you have to make a decision to rewrite and get yourself up to the current times. And if you're not willing to take that effort or that cost, or there's no need to. I was listening to the Press Row podcast yesterday with Pasta Padre and Rich Grisham, and it's funny because although Rich makes a point, it's a bad pass. Oh my God. See, that's the kind of stuff I like about this game. It's all legitimate, real time. I'm gonna take a look at that again while we're talking here. I want to show you guys this. So I got to plant my feet before I throw it, right? And then he throws a wobbly pass, which I like. And look at these tips. These are all pretty realistic tips here. The ball's floating around. He hits it with the right hand. Look at that. He hits it with both hands. Let's take a look at that. He hits it with both hands. Then he hits it with his right hand, I believe. Or his head. Look at that. Oh my god. I mean, this is why this game is the best. He hits it. I'm going to put it on the player here. He hits it with his head, then his hands, off his helmet again a little bit. Look at those physics. And then off his hands, off his head, and then finally hits the floor. Let's take a look at that in real time. I mean, that's pretty damn realistic there, you know? And I'm probably going to save this replay because I might use it at some point. But going back to what I was saying, that on the Press Road podcast, they were talking about how there is stiff competition. Rich Grisham was saying that even though Madden hasn't come up to speed or get even close to what 2K is doing, they have stiff competition with other games like Fortnite or NBA 2K or other games, and it's indirect competition is what he's basically saying. And I don't totally disagree with that, but at the same time, I believe that the majority of people who buy Madden, they're not buying it because it's a great game. They're buying it because they want the NFL license, and they want to be able to play something with the NFL license no matter what it is. You know, and I don't think Madden is this horrible, buggy game where you can't even play it because it crashes. You know, I don't think it's to the point where it's like a 2 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10. I think it's probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10 max. But we had a game in 2K that was better than that, you know, that had more than that. And it was like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, right? So when you drop that low, you definitely can see it, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Now I want to show you guys my settings real quick that I play on, because I think these are pretty good settings. Actually, these aren't the best settings that I have. These aren't the right settings, I don't think. I have better settings on my other Xbox. I'm playing on my modded one. So don't worry about those. But it seems to be playing okay. But I'm also the Browns, and the Browns aren't that great. And this is just the 2017 Browns with Tyrod Taylor swapped with McCown. I gotta take a shot, but no. So all I was trying to say was that you have to make a decision as a company. You have to make a decision to rewrite or make a huge change to the foundation, which typically constitutes a rewrite of the software. And you have to do that because you get to a point where you become legacy. And with Madden, it is a legacy product. If they would have made the game foundation better, then legacy would be fine, because the foundation is so strong that they can just tack on new features and bolt-ons. Dang, that was almost a good kick. They can tack on new features and bolt-ons on a good product, right? On a good foundation. But and I don't know if Madden has done a rewrite. I'm not saying they haven't done it. I don't think that they have. I know when they went from when they went from the original Xbox to Xbox 360, I think they did a rewrite back then. Actually, that's when I think, what was it, Madden 07 or whatever that was, the horrible year that they had, or 06, the horrible year when they had the Eagles, McNabb on the cover, and they had a horrible game, and that was probably a rewrite. Now that I think about it, so I think that's what that was. But you know, you're not behind the scenes. You don't know for sure what they do. But the point is that when they did rewrite it, part of the problem is that they have a brand new system that they're writing it for, right? So they only have a year. But with the money that they make, you're telling me that they can't do parallel development teams and have the new system worked on for a couple of years? Or strip it down so much where maybe you take a year off, or maybe you put in the bare essentials, and then you stack onto it year 2, year 3, kind of like I think NHL hockey did for EA. They had a horrible game when they went to the new consoles, and then they, oh, come on. And then that was all my bad. And then they eventually added more and more features like the online and things like that. So you have to kind of pick your battles, but you cannot rush a project to the point where you have a bad foundation, right? And with Madden, that's the problem that I have with the game. The game is fundamentally flawed, and there's no graphics, no presentation, there's nothing, no new animation RPM system or whatever they call it. None of that stuff is going to work perfectly or work at all in any kind of quality fashion if the foundation creeps in and the foundation can't support it. And that's the problem. The foundation is flawed. The game engine is flawed. The way the guys move is flawed. The kangaroo legs where everybody has bent legs is flawed. You know? I'm going to show you right now in this game. We're just going to look at these guys' legs. I'm just going to pick this guy, random guy. And yeah, his knees are bent because he's squatted down, right? Now, when he runs around, we're going to see he's getting hit. Now, he falls to the floor, so maybe he wasn't the best person. But let's pick these dudes. Let's pick Odell Beckham, right? Odell Beckham's running, right? Let's take a look at his running. So he's running. I'll go this angle. So he's running, and his legs are bent. But you see, they tend to get a little straight there, right? They plant. You see the force coming off the legs, and it gets straight. Look at his right leg. His right leg is almost straight, right? And in Madden, they always look like that to me. They always look like that bent leg, all the way bent. And I know this seems like very picky, but as you can see, these guys' legs get pretty damn straight. You know, they're almost 90 degrees to the floor, right? They're almost a straight line. And they end up going in a straight line when they stop, right? Like look how close his legs are right there. How almost straight they are. You know, and then when they stand, like if you look at this dude over here, you know, you look at his legs right here. When they finally stand, I mean, look how straight his leg is. I don't think Madden ever gets that straight. I mean, look at this guy over here. Even better. His leg is almost dead straight, right? So that's the way the legs are supposed to look. And I know this is picky. I know people might say, man, Javo, you're getting way too critical. But this game's animation system is second to none. And it's over a 10-year-old game, right? And I was right there. Just didn't want to move. I wonder if I have auto strafe on. This is my other Xbox. I don't know if my settings are right. Let's take a look. Auto strafe is on. You see that? I don't want that on. So my settings are jacked up. But yeah, so that's part of the problem. That's like the major problem. And until they fix it, which is the foundation, the animations, the way the guys move, the way that there's momentum and gravity and mass and physics, real physics, ball physics, body physics, movement, player likeness, and real player likeness, not just faces that look like the player, which that should already be done. I mean, we're way too far in technology to not have faces that look spot on per player, right? And in Madden, they're still working on that. They're still trying to get the faces to look exactly like the player. Now, granted, there's a lot more players in the NFL than there are in a game like NBA 2K, right? There's more players. But at the same time, there are a lot of players in MLB The Show. And I think MLB The Show does a pretty damn good job of player likeness, right? So player likeness is not just the faces, though. Player likeness is the way that they move, their abilities, the way they catch, the way they run, the style of running. Their moves are a little different. The way they throw, the way they do play action, the way that they do their special move if they have any. There's just certain things about a player, just like James Harden when he eats. You know, he has that motion when he tries to eat, and he shows that gesture, right? I mean, there's things that people do, and NBA 2K does it awesome because in the older teams like the Karl Malone and things that people do with in the old teams, the historic teams, they put signature moves on those guys too and signature gestures. Why can't we have that in Madden? But the thing is, I don't want to see it in Madden. Not right now. I want to see Madden rebuilt from the ground up. A whole new game with brand new animations, brand new movement, brand new logic, and brand new physics. Get that working first. Then step 2, you can work on player likeness if you want. You can work on strategy. You can work on schemes. You can work on franchise. I mean, but there's a building block process that needs to take place. And I'm giving you guys the real, I'm not saying it's the only opinion out there, but I'm giving you my real thoughts. And I'm not a Madden hater. I won't touch the game. Why? Because I don't think it's going to be good based on what I'm seeing and based on what I know about the product. And also, based on what I'm telling you now, there is valid, concrete evidence that says you do not get quality off of a faulty foundation. Okay, if you're building a house and you have a shaky, weak, defective foundation, you're not going to be able to sustain improvements. You're just not. It's just not going to hold, right? It's going to fail and it's going to crumble and you're going to have problems, right? So it's a very simple thought process, right? It's very simple. And just by the look of the new game, it looks very similar to every other game. Why? Because of what I've been saying. It's the same engine. It's the same foundation. So until Madden fixes that, I won't touch the game. Unless they can somehow miraculously make it look great and put band-aids everywhere and make it actually play decently, which then you're going to have bugs because you can't cover every single flaw with band-aids. That's just not the way it works, right? So I'm saying all this stuff to say that I wish the game was better. I'm not a Madden hater. I'm not somebody who just hates Madden for the sake of hating Madden or hates EA for the sake of hating EA. If they put out a good product, I'll be all over it. I have no problem with that. And the last thing I'm going to say is this, that it's not just Madden. It's not just EA. 2K needs to take some responsibility. I think, and I'm pretty sure, that 2K can't make a football game. Like legally, I don't think that they can. And it's not just the NFL license. I think that there's more to it than we may know. If I'm wrong, that may be the case. That's just a theory. And, you know, I'm not going to get into why I feel that way, but I have that feeling based on information that I've heard and that I know. But let's say that they could make one. Okay? The financial gain that they have to make, the risk and the financial investment that it takes to make such a game, I think they should. I think they should do it. I'm the first one in line to say, go ahead and do it. Take your chances and see, you know, and see what we're willing to buy. See what the community, see what people who like football are willing to purchase. Right? Make an unlicensed game or make another league's game like the XFL, CFL, whatever. Right? High school. I don't care. Fantasy. I want a game no matter what, and I'll be the first one to buy it. But investors don't work off of people like me, who are your core fans. They work off of the masses. Are the masses going to want this more than the NFL? Okay, you make it fully customizable. Well, maybe they'll want it. Maybe they won't. Maybe they see the cover and they see that it's not the NFL and they don't want to even look into customizing. There are people that don't want to waste their time or will learn about customizations. They just don't want to do it. So they'll buy the brand and that'll be it, right? But let's say that they did do that. That would be a good shot. You know, they can try to make it customizable and they can make it, you know, look very much like the real thing, and you can recreate any league you want. That was my bad. You can recreate any league that you want, right? If you have it fully customizable. But then you have legal risks. If they make it to where people can create the NFL and the game does well enough, because the game has to do well enough for let me tell you this. The game has to do well enough financially, okay, with sales, revenue, units sold, whatever, to be able to be a candidate for EA to sue and throw their lawyers at them. If you're not selling enough copies or you're not producing enough revenue, then there's no incentive for EA to spend their money chasing an empty gold mine, right? There's no reason to do it. And that's why companies like the Backbreaker, and who knows what they were told, but Backbreaker, maybe they didn't get sued because they didn't do that great financially. Access Football, Canadian Football, Maximum Football, whatever you want to call the game now. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's called Maximum Football. Those guys aren't going to get sued. They're just not. Because they don't make enough money. And the money it costs EA to sue them is far more than the money that they make. Right? So there's the risk of being sued, which is why people won't make a college game right now. That's the whole reason why. Just because of that. Just because of being brought to court. And that risk alone kills any upside to the revenue that you can make on a game. So I understand why 2K is not making a game financially. I still think they should make one. I think that they should test the waters. It's been long enough where we haven't had a quality game. Maybe things are different. Maybe if they made an actual game that's a franchise mode game that we can get a product that people will support, you know, maybe that can happen. But they need to take that chance. So it's not my money. They're going to have to figure that out. I think they should do it. I think they'd be surprised on what the response that they get. Okay? That's my opinion on that. But I just want to say it's 2K also. 2K needs to take some responsibility, and they need to produce a game. It's not just Madden's fault, because Madden is the game that we don't like, and the game with the license, and the game that took away our license. 2K, you need to be accountable, and we want a game from you, and you have the better product, so please give us a game. If you don't give us a game, I'm going to keep making All Pro Football better. I'm going to keep working on it, and I am going to enjoy it. I love this game. 2K5 is a great game as well, but it's also very old. The graphics are super outdated, and you know, this game to me is a better game on the field, so I prefer to play this game. So I'm going into halftime 10-3. I'm going to show the halftime highlights here and just wrap up this video. I wanted to do something quick and get my thoughts out there on Madden. Madden needs to be rebuilt. I'm not touching that game. And if I buy the game, it's not going to be new. It's going to be used, and it's going to be for my son to play. And maybe I'll jump on there and do a video if I feel like it, if I ever get it. But I'm not subscribing to Origin. There's no reason for me to get that. I don't have any games I want to play on there. And then if I do a video, I'm probably just going to do one or two, because I can't stomach that game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was long. If you're still with me, that means that you probably don't like Madden as well, or you're ready to put comments in there and tell me that I'm wrong. I don't know. I do think that everybody has their own choice, and if you like Madden and you enjoy it, great. I wish I could have that mindset. I think if you want to buy Madden, go for it. I just don't think that you should be complaining about the game if you buy it every year and complain that we don't have competition. I think if you want competition, you need to kill a monopoly by not supporting the monopoly. Okay? The monopoly starts to lose money and it's not worth it for them, or they can't afford to get the license, then guess what? A new company will rise and they will take the license and basically make a game, because that seems to be the key component, is having the license. So with that, guys, I'll leave you. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get back to work on the All Pro Football 2K8 editor. Wish I had a better name for it, but got to get back to work. So thanks for watching. Peace.